podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Hello.
And welcome to Film
Bastards. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, welcome people to episode 430 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by
Ian Shitting Blood Loring.
And we're not joined by Becky at the moment. I'm motioning to where she would be because she has only just finished work and she has to go and pick her car up from the garage because her exhaust has fallen off. So she's had that replaced today. So she may be joining us, she may not. What I will say is this is our year in review show. It's our annual year in review show. So if Becky doesn't catch up, she will be doing her list next week for you, or so you'll just have to put up with us two for the evening. We are a Pod Syndicate podcast. There's loads of other Pod Syndicate podcasts out there. We also have a Patreon that we will get back on Michael Mann next week. It's just we had a little bit of a break for Scream, and then we've had a little bit of a break because we've been getting a lot of year-end shit in, haven't we?
We have, and I don't know, it kind of feels like everybody's work schedules have been fucking bananas. Like the Scream show, I will front up and say I apologise that it was so late. No, not the Scream. Well, the Scream review show from last week, not the Scream Patreon show. Yeah, last week's normal show was very, very late, and it had fuck all production in it, and it was basically, it's Sunday, for fuck's sake. It's over a week since the film came out, I just need to get this up. So apologies for not having the usual bells and whistles there, but it just... Fuck it, like, life gets in the way like a
It does, and January always seems to be this one, doesn't it?
Yeah. Work is an intense mistress on both of our sides, I think. I mean, Bex is loving life, I believe, but yeah.
She's in a good place at the moment. So we're going to go through. We did a little bit of a production meeting beforehand, and we said we're going to go a little bit kind of loosey-goosey and just sort of see how it flows. So it's probably just going to be our year in review, because there's some films we might go a little bit longer on, there's some films we might go a little bit shorter on, and there's bits like that. But I'm kind of cool with all that. I'm down with that. So
it's
there
basically.
News?
I was going to say, if you're looking at the runtime now, it's like, fuck me, it's 3 hours. We just did the end of year review stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably basically how it'll be. News. Probably. Sorry, that sounds awful. I will wake up. I swear to God, I will wake up. So Sundance has been happening.
Yeah.
And some films have been getting bought and whatnot. One thing I didn't know existed until last week, Bill Nighy has done a remake of Akira Kurosawa's Ikiru.
Oh.
Yeah. It's called Living. It's set in the 1950s. And yeah, it's Bill Nighy. Ikiru is a film which I accidentally ordered into the Blockbuster that I was working at. Actually, well, I don't know whether I did it accidentally or whether I was taking the piss. But no, do you know what? No, I was very naughty. Some twat asked me to order in Akira.
Yeah.
Fuck you. What's this? And I just ordered Ikiru. And then he said, have you got it in? I was like, yeah, here you go. He's like, that's not Akira. I was like, well, you said Ikiru.
Yeah, you said Akira.
No, I said Akira. So that's how I first experienced Ikiru. And I didn't even know it was a fucking Kurosawa film. It was just like, shit, I'm just going to fucking order this. Cause
I'm going to be a dick.
Yeah. No, I'm an absolute fucking grade A arsehole. And I know that film is fucking incredible, and it's heartbreaking, and a hell of a fucking movie. Bill Nighy in that role could be very, very fucking good. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's been sold to Sony Pictures Classics, and they are low-key Oscar bothering extraordinaires. They were the ones who handled The Father last year and took it all the way to fucking best original screenplay, I believe, and best actor. So, you know, there we go. I think that's exciting. God, and they only paid $5 million for it as well, so it's not like they were going to have to make that much money for it. Directed by Oliver Hermanus. I don't know who that is. No, that really is... Oh, wow. And it's scripted by Kazuhiro Ishiguro, who wrote The Remains of the Day and Never Let Me Go. So that is a fucking interesting bit of work, that. Fair play. Acquired all rights in North America, Latin America, India, Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, Germany, South Africa, Southeast Asia, and airlines worldwide.
Fair enough.
But not the UK apparently. So I'm assuming a local distributor's got it over here. But yeah, that's interesting. Also, the film I think I'm most looking forward to from Sundance, Rebecca Hall's got a new film, which is it's called Resurrection. It's Rebecca Hall and Tim Roth, and I have read that it is Possession-esque. Oh yeah. 2 stars in The Guardian. But
Makes me see it more.
Yep. If it is Possession-esque and it stars Rebecca Hall, that's a spicy meatball, guys. That is a spicy meatball. And I am certainly up for that. Searchlight have paid $7.5 million for Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, which stars Emma Thompson.
I saw a little bit about this one.
Emma Thompson plays Nancy Stokes, who has led a full life, a retired school teacher and widower. She finds herself yearning for the one thing that has eluded her. A satisfying sexual experience. She decides to do something about that with a plan that involves an anonymous hotel room and a young sex worker who calls himself Leo Grande. Leo is confident, dapper, and takes pride in being good at his job. He also appears to be intrigued by Nancy, one of many things to surprise her during their time together. Bloody hell. Alright then. Yeah? Alright. Let's watch Emma Thompson being down to fuck. That sounds like a solid couple of hours.
Yeah, I'm intrigued enough to give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lena Dunham's back. Her new film Sharp Stick seems to have landed with a bit of a thud.
I mean, like anything Lena Dunham does now.
Yeah. So there's that. So Sundance. It's a virtual Sundance. It's a bit of a shame that as well, because it kind of feels like Omicron's like on its way to having done its thing, and it feels like if they did Sundance in February, not January, maybe it would have happened.
Yeah, like you say, if they'd have known what they knew now, it would have happened, but they didn't. They I mean, like, there was a bit of controversy because they cancelled it really late, and even that, apparently, like, I saw a lot of film Twitter complaining that they had Airbnbs they couldn't get refunds from, and it was just like, how are you in this day and age booking accommodation where you can't get a refund if things are cancelled? Yeah, that's on you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that does feel very on those people, like 100%. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, Sundance. Mortal Kombat sequel has been greenlit. Great.
Yeah, fine with
Fucking
that.
I'll watch another one of them. Oh God, what's this? Oh wow. Director Jordan Bain to drop NFT motion picture Red Flags.
What's an apt name?
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Quite. Starring Melissa Leo, a debut motion picture NFT on the Ethereum blockchain, leading the way to increase the number of filmmakers, especially women, trans and non-binary, and other underrepresented creators to understand and utilise the power of Web3 creator economy. This is more than an NFT. This is more than a motion picture. This is a call to action.
No.
What? Red Flags, the motion picture, will be released as a one-of-one edition that will be sold and collected on the blockchain.
Cool.
What does that mean?
I just hope nothing.
So does that mean, right? If somebody owns that NFT, I take it doesn't mean that they own the copyright to the film. Like, they could buy the NFT and go, right, I'm now going to distribute this myself as a film and reap all the profits. Or does it mean there's literally only one copy of it that will exist, and it's only going to be accessible or allowed accessed by the person who has bought it?
I really hope it's that, and that it just gets nothing. It just goes nowhere, and all involved have a terrible time.
So it's basically like that Wu-Tang album that fucking farmer twat bought.
That he then had to give to Bill Murray.
That's right.
Yeah. When it was seized, wasn't it? And he had to give it to Bill Murray instead.
But fucking, like, I tell you what, this whole web, just very, very quickly, this whole Web 2, Web 3 thing. Right, okay, so you want to create a free internet, but then it's designed by people who you basically have to take their word for it that it's free. Like this Decentraland metaverse that's now around, where it's a limited amount of space and companies and people can buy space in it. But it's decentralised, you see. No, because you're still fucking paying shit to have a space there. And then it's just, it's an economy, it's not, it's decentralised as much as it's its own micro-economy. But don't be fucking saying, and this means that we're free and blah, blah, blah. No. It's, honestly, it's what, like 3D printing, it's one of those things where it's like, fucking fair enough, when I am too old, fair enough, because I don't want to live in a world that has that shit going on.
Yeah, I don't care enough to pay any attention.
And the thing is, with this red flags thing, the fact that it's like this statement is saying to increase the number of filmmakers, especially women, trans and non-binary and other underrepresented creators to understand and utilise the power of Web3 creator economy. It says to me, they've just created some sort of bizarre limited edition video file and they're going to sell it to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Hang on. So, it's part of the Courage collection with proceeds going to charities committed to stopping gender-based violence. Didn't say all proceeds, did it?
No. That's like that episode of Simpsons where the Simpsons Gazette says that a portion of the newspaper is made from recycled paper, and when Lisa asks what portion and percent, and she says 0, and then responds with 0 is a percent.
yeah, quite. But bizarre.
Yeah,
fucking bizarre. Anyway, there we go. That's news. The world's weird.
Yeah, it can get to fuck. Yeah, it's becoming. There's becoming certain things that just make me go, when people start talking about them or if people mention them to me, my brain just goes into this state of going, I don't want to talk to you anymore. and I think that the bit that talks my brain to my mouth is going to just go, do you know what, we're not going to connect that for a while and just see how it goes. Yeah. So when somebody mentions something, I go, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, I'm just going to walk away.
I'm so worried that, being that my job is overseeing a digital aspect of a financial services company, I'm so fucking scared that someone's going to start wanting to talk to me about fucking crypto and NFTs at some point. It's just no. Do
you know what I do want to talk to you about, Ian? I want to talk to you about your best, your worst, your biggest surprises and your biggest disappointments of the year. Let's fucking...
Mark,
yes?
I want to talk to you about that as well.
Let's fucking do this.
Say. Right, great.
Ian, what's your number 10 best film of the year?
Oh, well, come on, you know me better than that.
I know you've done all of them.
I've got a 15 through 11 to fucking go through first.
Are you going to go through it first? Ooh, nice. Go on.
So my 15 through 11. 15, hell yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Nice.
14, Luca. Luca, you are good. Well done, Pixar. I am now annoyed at what is happening to you. And I am absolutely with all the animators and whatnot who are apparently annoyed in Pixar as well. Good, I would be as well. Good luck to you. 13. It's that Baby Annette. Baby Annette was in my top 10 until a rewatch. I still think it's great, but it's not in my top 10 anymore. Number 12. Pig. Pig is good. Pig has one of the best scenes of the year. Pig. Great fucking movie. And my 11, The Mitchells versus the Machines, which I liked on first watch, improved on rewatch. I have a feeling if I watched it a third time, it would have cracked the top 10. But yeah, The Mitchells versus the Machines, fucking great film. Just very, very high joke hit rate. Lovely, lovely sentiment to it. So yeah. But my number 10 is a film that maybe you caught up with, Asghar Farhadi's A Hero.
I didn't, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I was going to, but it was one of the ones that just couldn't get to.
So I haven't spoken about this actually on the show with you. I talked about it in my LFF show that I kind of just monologued by myself. So I spoke about it quite a bit there. But yeah, yeah, this was something. I watched this at LFF with Jordan, Lauren, and yeah, Brad was there for that one as well, actually. And it was a double bill of that, this and Power of the Dog. So hell of a double bill there. So basically, this is the story of a guy called Rahim, played by Amir Jadidi, who is in this, basically in what is apparently known as a debtor's prison, where essentially if you owe someone money and the other person is able to prove that they've done all they can to kind of like help you and whatnot, you get fucking, and they want you to, you get thrown in this debtor's prison until you're fucking able to pay them back.
Fair play.
And yeah. And so I'm assuming this is a thing that happens in Iran. It didn't feel like it was like a fantasy setting or anything. But yeah, he has a couple of days leave, and he basically comes into some money through some like kind of dodgy means, but then gives back the money to, well, yeah, God, how to describe it? He basically says, oh, I found this money, and then somebody claims it, and then he's heralded as this like morally good hero, And he basically doesn't want to kind of like disappoint people by saying, actually, no, I'm a fucking scumbag. And I can't, like, the thing is, I saw it a few months back, and it's annoying me, but I can't remember what it is that makes him, like, give up the money. What is it? He's selling something. Oh, anyway, sorry. This is actually really going to bother me, so bear with. Sorry.
No, it's one of those things, isn't it, where you go, wait, why can't I remember this?
It's just that there's a detail to it. Right. Yes. He has this girlfriend who he's been seeing in secret, and she finds this handbag that's got gold coins in it. That's it. She finds a handbag that's got gold coins in it, and she says, "Why don't you use this to repay your debts?" But instead of doing that, he's like, "Actually, I'm going to try and like return the bag." But then, because she found the bag with gold coins, and he didn't come in, he didn't just find it himself. He starts going down this spiral where he says that he found it and wanted to give them back, and then he's heralded as this hero, and the guy that he owes money to is like, no, hang on, what the fuck? Because then people start trying to raise money for him, and he's like, no, he owes me money. He's now fucking playing on everybody's affections to get you all to help him. And it's this morality tale where he's this guy who, he's not exactly a scumbag,
but he's not exactly a good dude either.
No, that's the thing. And it just like, he's happy to play other people off against each other, and happy to kind of play on people's emotions and things like that. And it's really complex, but it's also fantastically suffocating. You are just wondering how far down the rabbit hole he is going to go, and like people every now and then start questioning things, and it's like his family are trying to get him out of other obligations that he's got, and then he's having to try and prove his story, and then he's having to invent side things to bolt onto things to justify things that he's been saying to try to prove his story. And it's like he's getting other people in to pretend to be other people, like to pretend to be people in his story and things like that. It just, but all the way through, you are like, I kind of want to see him succeed, but also I get why certain people are really fucking pissed off at him. Yeah, I mean, it's a heck of a film. It's really, really interesting.
I believe it's on Prime now.
Yeah, it's on Prime. It had a limited theatrical release, but Amazon have the rights, so it's on Prime. It came on Prime last Friday as we record, and yeah, I mean, it's a cracking bit of work. And the thing is, I didn't know fucking anything about it, and I was going to go and see something else. And then, like, fair play to George. Thank you, George. He was just like, no, you should watch A Hero. And I was like, oh, well, shit, all right, then let's see how it goes. And I'm glad he persuaded me. So yeah, A Hero, my number 10. Really, really, really fucking good. I think it will probably get nominated at the Academy Awards. There's a couple other films coming up that apparently I would rather it won Best International Feature, however.
Fair enough. I also did I do have a 15 to 11 as well, so I'll do those before I do my number 10. News of the World. Surprising Tom Hanks movie that landed on Netflix. Really good movie that nobody seemed to watch apart from me and you.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it actually had a theatrical in the US as well back when. God, I mean, we think things are kind of like slow at the cinema now, but just remember those days.
Oh man,
like December last year, we couldn't see shit in America. It was like things were earning like $1 million at the weekend, and oh my word, what a fucking time.
My number, number 14, The Kid Detective, which I snuck in for this year because it was released in the UK this year in cinemas. Very good film, quite surprising film towards the end. A really quite playful movie throughout, and then a really fucking just smacks you around the face ending. Really well done. Then number 13, Pig.
Hell yeah.
Like you said, it's just a really quite somber and quite sad movie that was masquerading as one of the the crazy Cage movies that we seem to be getting at the moment. Number 12, Vacation Friends.
I ummed and ahed about this. It'd be in my 20.
Yeah, I contemplated putting it as my number 1 surprise, and I realised I can't call it a surprise because if you'd have explained that movie to me, I wouldn't have been surprised that I liked it. So
yeah, do you know what? I wondered about that myself as well, but it was like by the time I got round to it, I just thought, well, no, I'm kind of expecting I'm going to enjoy this because I now know that I do very much like John Cena funny. Yep. So yeah, I get it though. Yeah,
but that's what I went for. And my number 11 is Dune.
Sweet, fair play.
Yeah, so I shall fire in with my number 10.
I'll just say, because Dune may not come up again today then if Bex isn't going to be on.
No.
I'll just say I rewatched Dune last week, and that film got better on a second watch. I think because I had subtitles on, in all honesty, and I think I was in a better mood. However, they need to release a version with the IMAX framing. It genuinely felt like I was watching. I mean, I was, but I remember that I was watching less film.
Fair enough. I still can't understand why they haven't released the IMAX framing. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, quite.
At all. So my number 10 is Riders of Justice.
Hell yeah, good job.
Yeah, it's just because it's kind of it sat with me, and we watched it. I watched it sort of like back in, I believe it was like February or something like that. So it wasn't even that far after we'd recorded last year's best of show. But it's kind of sort of sat around in the back of my brain, and it's one of those where every time someone's mentioned it, like on Twitter or like people that I've spoken to that've seen it, I've kind of gone, hell yeah, great movie. I have several times sort of remembered the can we go and see the barn now? The barn really is fantastic, just so many times, and it's such an oddly like heartfelt movie that I've really enjoyed kind of that aspect of it. That it's not it's quite angry. It's supposed to be an angry movie, but then it has this moment of these people just kind of finding their own little weird family, and it ends up, at the end being really quite a touching story, but genuinely funny, peppered with quite extreme violence at points throughout. Mm-hmm. It really is a very good film. So yeah, that's my number 10 is Riders of Justice.
Fucking A. No, that's a great choice. My number 9, pretty confident this is going to come up on either of yours lists. West Side Story. I just really fucking enjoyed every single minute of this. I thought that the decision Spielberg made in terms of difference was absolutely fair enough. I mean, apparently he didn't want to do America like up on the not the ceiling, Jesus Christ, the fucking
rooftops.
What's the rooftop? Jesus wept. Thank you. Because he was like, I'm not going to be able to beat that. It's like, fair enough then. Yeah, and it's like, but I think he did a really good job. I think Cool is a far better number in this version. You know, I'm not going to say it's perfect. You know, I'm just not. It's not. But I really, really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it again. And it's going to be interesting to see how that does as awards season rolls on. That's going to be an interesting one. So yeah, we only talked about it a few weeks back. My number 9, West Side Story.
Cool. It's a film that I really want to rewatch because I don't know whether I was in a snippy mood at the time or I went into it with just expectations too high or something like that. So yeah, I think there's an element of that to West Side Story. I need to reevaluate my evaluation of it, I think.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like with Dune, it was like I was running late. I missed the first couple of minutes, and I just wasn't settled and ready for it. You know, and that's the thing. That can colour your memory of these things. So yeah, I mean, I'd be intrigued to see what you think on rewatch for sure.
Yeah, I'll be rewatching it probably before awards season kicks in, I would think. Mm-hmm. So my number 9. Again, one that definitely won't be on your list, but a movie that was basically Mark Nip is the Taylor Sheridan movie Those Who Wish Me Dead.
I mean, it's not on my list, but it's a good film. Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it is a very Mark Nip movie in terms of the setting, the director. And the writers, the cast even has a few sort of strong Mark Nip ones with Nicholas Hoult and John Bernthal turning up. I just think Angelina Jolie's very, very good in it. Tyler Perry turns up for one scene, I remember. Literally like he was driving by.
Fucking incredible. Like, is that Tyler Perry? What's he doing in this? And then he's gone.
He literally gets out of a car, walks the edge of a road, delivers just a really well delivered scene, and then just drives off again.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I really do quite enjoy Tyler Perry and stuff. But yeah, Those Wish Me Dead. Very much a Mark Nip movie. Like I say, there's some great visuals. It uses, the part of the thing is that they're being smoked out. And so it uses that and has a great kind of balance between the smoke and then the light, but the fact that it's at night, so the darkness, and it works like that. But yeah, it was a very thoroughly enjoyable cinema experience. I think that was one of the first when we came back from the cinemas, earlier on in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it the first Wednesday that the cinemas were open. I saw Spiral. Fucking Spiral was my first film back at the cinema, and God, I was so excited. It's just to be watching anything, but then Those Who Wish Me Dead was literally the second thing. You're right. Yeah. And just what fun that was to just be watching this in the cinema. This mid-budget, made for grown-ups thriller.
Yeah. That's it. It felt very. It felt sort of very mid to late 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometime between 95 and 97. So it couldn't quite be inspired. It hadn't quite got caught up in all of the post Pulp Fiction Tarantino rip-offs, but also it wasn't languishing in the just after the 80s bad suits.
Yeah.
So that's my number 9 there. Those Who Wish Me Dead, which I will be catching up with again very, very soon, I would think.
Nice. My number 8 is Raya and the Last Dragon. Raya and the Last Dragon, I think, has been basically forgotten.
Yep.
And I think that's really unfair. Encanto has basically just become huge, and fair play. I like Encanto. I don't love Encanto. But Raya and the Last Dragon is just one of the most visually dynamic Disney films I remember seeing. I think it's got a fucking beautiful message at its core. It's got a great, fun supporting cast. And Kelly Marie Tran in the lead. I think she's fantastic. And it's got really, really good action as well. Like, I just think as a damn fucking solid, like, no, more than solid, like, really, really entertaining family movie, I had a great experience with it. And my you know, I unless you're really thinking about it, I think all lists are subjective, but some of my picks in this list are very much a me list, as they should be, because they're a reflection of me.
Yeah. So I always do my list.
Yeah, straight. Yeah, and I think it's the way to go. And it was the start of March. We kind of we didn't we were on our roadmap out of lockdown, and it was like, here's a big fucking Disney animated movie to watch at home, and boom, I had a fucking great time. Yeah, I mean, I am annoyed that this is the one that seems to have been forgotten. Like, Luca is getting a lot of the critical praise, and that seems to be keeping it in mind, and that's great. As I said, I really, really, really like Luca. And Encanto, I'm glad people are enjoying it. But Raya and the Last Dragon, that's the shit.
Yeah,
that's the shit.
I like that. That's in your list. Like you say, it does seem like it's the one that's kind of been forgotten about. And it should. It's a. I didn't get along with it on first watch, but enjoyed it on second watch. Is what I would say. Which is usually the opposite of me for Pixar. Pixar usually I don't like them on. I usually like them on first watch and then get bored on second watch.
I'm going to be a dick. Sorry, it's not Pixar. It's Disney Animation
Studios.
Studios.
It's done at Animation Studios, isn't it? Of course, yeah.
So that means you'll fucking adore Encanto when you first watch it. I think you need to watch Encanto, by the way. I think you need to have an opinion on it. I'm fucking intrigued.
I will look to give it a go.
And it's going to be in the animated feature and best original song conversation.
You see, that's it. You see, I'm going to try and watch as many as of the Oscar botherers, of the Oscar nominated ones this year as I can. So I'm kind of going to have to watch it. So I might as well enjoy having to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. We Don't Talk About Bruno is going to be a best original song contender, and I could see it fucking winning over No Time to Die. Like, we Don't Talk About Bruno literally was the UK fucking #1 song a week or two ago. That's wild.
That is a bit...
It's a film that came out in November, and now it's not... Yeah, anyway, fucking Encanto. Raya and the Last Dragon, that's the shit.
And that was your number 8, wasn't it?
8.
So my number 8 is quite far removed from Raya and the Last Dragon. It is David.
I was going to say The Loft didn't get a remake this year. Sorry,
it didn't. Unfortunately,
oh shit! You're gonna say, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Rebecca Hall, step on me.
Yeah, David Bruckner's The Night House. Yeah. Again, an early back to cinema for us, I believe.
It was August.
Yeah, it was August. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, but it was
one of those most erotic film of the year. That's great, yeah.
It's one of those ones where I remember seeing a trailer for it in the cinema and going, yeah, all right, I'm intrigued by that. And then proceeded to read nothing about it and got a little bit sort of, right, I don't want to see the trailer anymore. I want to see the film. And then saw the film and was very much like, oh, this is fucking good. This is really good. Like you say, you've got Rebecca Hall just being broken and then being aggressively broken. The scene in the... Is it a bookshop or it's a library? It's one or the other, either bookshop or library, isn't it?
It's a bookshop.
It's a bookshop, right.
Because that girl works at the bookshop.
Of course she does, yeah. And she basically just stands her down. is glorious. A weirdness in the sense of, I think, literally before the trailer even became a thing, I think we'd mentioned something about Rebecca Hall, and I can't remember why, on the podcast. And we were like, Rebecca Hall, what happened to her? She should be doing more. And then it's like the universe listened and went, you want some Rebecca Hall there? Yeah, you're going to get a lot in the next 18 months. Like, a lot. The Night House. Really, if nobody's caught up with this yet, I believe in the UK it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So if you've not caught up with it yet, anybody, it's a really good psychological horror. In a year where there's been a mix of horror, we'll say. Yeah,
it's. The Night House is a fucking fantastic bit of work. I'm looking forward to checking it out again. Actually, I do. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if on a rewatch it would have squeaked into the 15 for me.
Nice, yeah. And I know Bex rewatched it and said it held up really, really well. I think she watched it. I'd gone to bed one night early on, and because of where we live now, there's very little outside noise because there's no main roads anywhere. So she was saying it was quite eerie watching it in the deadly quiet, really pitch black with the stove on.
Yep, I bet. Yeah. I could never live in a place like that. It would be fucking terrifying, but good for you.
Okay, Ian, you need to give us your disappointments now. Let's bring the tone down a little bit. So for anybody who if you're new to the podcast, or you've just joined this year listening to the podcast, when we do our rundown of the year, what we do is we do a top 10. We do a bottom 10 as well. We also do a 5 disappointments and a 5 surprises. And then how we work this is we do 10, 9, 8, and then we do the disappointments. Then we do 7, 6, 5, and then we do the surprises. Then 4, 3, 2, our 10 worst films of the year, because we don't want to talk about them as much. And then we'll do our number ones. So, Ian, do you want to just run down should we do your full 5? And then my full 5?
Sure.
Yeah, do it like that.
That's fine. We don't want to spend too much time on these ones. And just to say, we're running by the rule that no film can appear on 2 lists.
No film can appear on 2 lists.
Yeah, okay. Regular listeners may notice that something's missing here, but it's coming later. But yeah. So, my number 5 would be the Russo brothers' Cherry. They're following up Endgame. They've basically got a blank check. They've got Tom Holland, and they produced that.
Yep. That will come up later on.
Like, fucking yeah. My number 4 is Sion Sono's Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Yep, it's a solid choice.
Just fucking... It's not awful, but that... Come on, you had it right there.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. My number 3, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I really like The Conjuring 1 and 2. This one felt like a direct-to-video knockoff. And was... Yes, okay. So it's directed by the guy who directed The Curse of La Llorona, and not the first 2 films. You don't say.
Yeah, it doesn't stick the landings as well, does it?
Nope. My number 2 is Censor. A film which, frankly, I was disappointed because everyone was being very convincing that it was going to blow my fucking brain away. And I thought, it's alright, but the third act is fucking shit. The third act of Censor is unmitigated shite.
Yeah. What I will say about Censor is, and I might be wildly off the bat here because I haven't seen it, but in terms of not even the film, but the chat around the film, and I'm going to go very old man yells at cloud right now, but it's horror for people who are under 30.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know how anyone found the third act of Censor anything other than kind of like rubbernecking at a car crash. What are you doing? But name Algar in the lead role. She's great. And I think that Prano Bailey Bond does conjure a really good sense of atmosphere before that, but when it's actually trying to be scary, nah, you done fucked up. But again, it's subjective. There's a lot of people who I trust the opinions of who are like, it's the best horror film of the year, and absolutely fair play. But I think Mark's point of it's maybe horror for people who are, I don't know, maybe just a generation younger. Maybe that's just it. Maybe just different things get people, but yeah. And my number one, even though I liked it more on rewatch, is In the Heights, because I was so very, very here for In the Heights. People can go back and listen to when, like, we talked about the trailers and stuff like that. I was so down for In the Heights.
Oh, you were very in the tank for it.
Yeah, and it's fine, but it makes some bad choices. I don't think it's directed particularly well, and as I've said before, looks like it was shot by a blind person. So there you go. That's my disappointing 5.
My disappointments, and again, disappointments don't necessarily have to be bad films. So my number 5 is West Side Story, but this comes with a caveat. Mm-hmm. I am actually more disappointed in myself than the film because I don't think I gave it a fair chance. So I'm having that a little bit. I'm taking a little bit of a liberty there. My number 4 disappointment, Black Widow. If you're going to shoehorn a movie in 5 years too late, don't make it look like it was made 10 years before. A just pointless exercise that everybody waited for and that they must have known was utter garbage.
I mean, it is incredible.
Yeah,
that it was like you just had to wait for that.
Yeah, you had to wait for that.
I mean, it's like if you had to wait for Shang-Chi and it was like, fucking hell, that was really good, actually. You know, I mean, fair enough. But the fact you had to wait for, like, and Black Widow was the one that the MCU was going to come back with, and then it's that.
Yeah.
And I'd say it gets no better on rewatch, I'd fucking tell you what. Oh, my.
I will never rewatch it. At all. Ever. Categorically.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Coming to America. A movie that I didn't dislike, but...
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good call.
But, just, why not be better? Just, why not be better?
I mean, it's more, how are you not better?
Yeah, it is. I think, like we say, we literally wrote a better ending that made more sense on the podcast. And the thing is, it's not like we were being clever. It was literally staring them in the face. Yeah, it was right there. Yeah. She wants to be a hairdresser in Brooklyn. There is the barber shop in Brooklyn. There's a joke earlier on about his brownstone house being worth $2 million. Have it that he sold that. And he gave her the what is it? There you go. That's how they end up in Brooklyn. It's there. My number 2 biggest disappointment: Prisoners of the Ghostlands.
Hell yeah.
Echo everything Ian said earlier. A movie that constantly, rather than just being crazy, is constantly trying to be crazy and just tapping on the shoulder and going, "Look how crazy we are! Just look, and you look how crazy we are."
Very badly wants to be nuts.
Yeah, we're gonna do something crazy again in a second. It's gonna be crazy. Watch, and you're there going, "Oh, will you just fuck off? Stop prodding me. Just do something." It isn't even that crazy.
It's bizarre that Sion Sono did that.
Yeah, just made...
Like, something went wrong with that fucking film somewhere along the line.
I reckon that they decided to make the film, had a rough draft, and then just made the rough draft.
Sure.
And then my number 1 is In the Heights.
Wow, really? Okay, yeah.
I was up for this. I was up for just being entertained and kind of absorbed into that environment. And then it's too long. The songs feel out of place. Not out of place. They feel within place, but they feel like out of like. It builds up, and then you have this really fucking long, like 8-minute song about a woman dying.
Yeah, she literally walks up a subway tunnel to heaven.
Yep. So in a 2-hour, 15-minute movie, you spend about 8 minutes, the last, 20 minutes of it, just being really depressed.
Yep.
And it's not even a good song. I can't actually think of a single song from it.
No, there are no memorable hooks.
Nope. And if people say, well, what about Blah? It's like, right, but have you had that? Would that have appeared in your Spotify Unwrapped? Because if it did, you can't say that.
No, it's like, what about Blah? All right, sing me it. In the Heights. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
in the Heights.
And Ian, you are 100% right. It looks like shit. It looks like a TV
and
pilot.
The thing, honestly, right? The Cineworld in Cardiff, their projection standards are fucking awful. Awful. Eternals, as much as I still am relatively mad on that film, looks so much better on Disney Plus than the cinema presentation. I rewatched In the Heights on 4K Blu-ray. I gave it the best fucking chance I could next to the Cineworld presentation, thinking maybe it's just Cineworld. It's not.
You have really tried to like that movie, haven't you?
Like, no, seriously. The Film Junk podcast calls it a force feed. When you're watching something, just like, I need to fucking like this. Make me like you.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I've tried that with In the Heights. And it got, like I say, it got better on rewatch, but that film is a 3 out of 5 film that fucking should have been a 5 out of 5 banger. And for loads of people it was. I do not see it. And I really don't think it's because I don't want to, because fuck me. I have spent nearly 5 hours of my life watching In the Heights, trying to love it.
Yep, that's it. I was not. That's why it's in my disappointments. It's not just in my. It wouldn't have made my worst list because it's not. It's not categorically a bad movie. It is not. There is not a single bad movie in my disappointments. They are all just meh. Me.
I think that's totally fair. Like, I think my lowest is a 2 out of 5, but my word, do I have less than 2 out of 5 in my worst?
Oh yes. Oh, I do as well. Right, let's get back in. What's your number 7, Ian?
So my number 7 is a film that I told you a few days back wasn't going to be trouble in my top 10, but it's fucking stayed with me.
Oh.
My number 7 is Joaquin Trilla's The Worst Person in the World.
Right, nice.
That film is fucking good. That's a really, really good film. and I'll be honest, I think in years to come, if I was to revisit this list, I think it might even go higher.
Oh, really? One of those?
Yeah, it honestly, it stayed with me. So it seems, it's kind of simple, deceptively simple. So it's basically about a young woman who is entering her 30s. She doesn't really know what to do with her life. She's kind of starting jobs and career paths, and then leaving them. She has a boyfriend, but he's older and wants kids. She doesn't really, so she's kind of like, do I actually want this? But and it chronicles like a few years of her life. But the first half to 2/3, it's funny, and it's got some interesting visual stuff in it. There's a moment where she's at a bit of a sliding doors like moment in her life, and she literally pauses the world and runs somewhere, and it's great. But then, as it wraps up, some stuff happens, and it really resonates. And there's a couple of monologues in this film which are really, really powerful. And again, I mean, the thing is, this is appearing in a lot of year-end lists. But for me, I'd say it's subjectively, because there is a character in the film who is dealing with getting older and not necessarily understanding, like, it's fully understanding the viewpoints of younger generations coming up, and how this person's, like, in their youth was a kind of a counterculture icon, and now as they're, and I'm not saying I'm a counterculture icon, but like this person in the film was. And as they're getting older, the world's kind of leaving them behind, and they're, God, no, I won't say any more because it kind of almost spoils the monologue. But it's great. But then also you've got the lead character Julie, played by Renata Rensvi. Forgive me for the pronunciation, and she is great. Like I say, she's kind of flighty and she doesn't really know what to do, but you kind of understand that. It really very nicely plays the both not knowing what to do in your like late 20s, early 30s, and then even kind of like what I'm certainly experiencing in my later 30s, where it's like, and now, like, the younger generations are coming up, and what was counterculture then is not counterculture now, or it's even more counter to the counterculture, because the counterculture is very, very lefty, and your counterculture at the time might have been kind of sort of lefty, but now the lefties are seeing it as more centre or centre-right, you know, and just how that's kind of... It's got really interesting shit to say, but it's also, on the face of it, just this story about this woman who can't make her mind up. And it's just like, the more I'm talking about it, it's like, fuck, I want to watch that again, like, soon.
One of those that's kind of like, while you're watching it, it was one thing, and then as it's gone away, you've gone, all right, you know, this was, yeah, all right, this is sticking.
Yeah, just very rich and full of meaning, but also very, very entertaining. There's a drug trip sequence which is fucking incredible. Very funny. Like, very, very funny.
Oh, I might have to get to this soon, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I will say, Mark, at the start, it says it's a story told with 12 chapters, a prologue and an epilogue. Don't let that put you off. Don't let that put you off. I really, really enjoyed it. And Renata Rensby, a very, very charming woman. She's quite fetching. But yeah. I will say Anders Danielson Lee, who plays this character Axel, he is fucking brilliant as well. And I haven't seen that many people talking about him, but one of the monologues I was talking about, he has he has both of them thinking about it, and great. It's a fantastic film. If it got an original screenplay nomination, I'd be like, yeah, fuck me, go on, do it. It feels like this year's another round where it's like the one that could maybe like the European film that could attract the attention of the Academy in that kind of a way.
Yeah. It does seem to have that kind of trajectory at the moment.
Yeah. It's ace. It's really... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I like it.
Good.
It's and like when I reviewed it on Letterboxd the other day, I was just like, yeah, I wasn't really too sure about all the bits, but I'll be honest, I think I'm going to have to edit that. Like, I think it really just fully adds up. Fucking hell, do I need to move it higher? I think I need to move it higher. Fuck.
This does happen sometimes, doesn't it, when you do the show and you start talking about something and you go, I put that in the wrong place.
Hang about. Because the thing is, the next film I talk about, it's going to be like, really? Right, well, let's move on. What's your what's your number 7, Mark? We'll revisit.
My number 7 is Tick Tick Boom.
Hell yeah.
I knew very, very little about it. And Bex showed me the trailer, and then I was like, all right, so it's that. All right, that's cool. I very much like Andrew Garfield as an actor. I think he does a lot of very interesting things. So I was quite intrigued by this. And then Bex showed me the trailer, and I was like, that's really busy. Very busy. It's a busy trailer. And then the film itself is quite busy, I found. But in a very charming way, in the sense that I think the film's supposed to be busy. It's supposed to seem like everything is literally ticking by without him being able to get control of it. That it's there, and it's this guy who's just got all of this creativity that he just can't quite access, and gets so caught up in his own belief in what he's doing should be the most important thing in the world that he starts to forget about the important things in the world. And it's, I think song-wise, it's very good. The songs are catchy. We mentioned In the Heights earlier on, and I can't remember genuinely cannot remember a single song from that. To the point of where when you sang the In the Heights bit, I couldn't work out. It took me a few seconds to work out if you were taking the piss and just doing a song that could have been made up called In the Heights, or if that actually was a song from it. And the other bit there is, but with Tick Tick Boom, I can remember a few of the songs that are in it, but it's also carried along by a really, really great sort of central performance by Andrew Garfield that he's getting a lot of awards chatter for, and kind of rightly so for it. It's a really, really great piece of work. Lin-Manuel Miranda doing his directorial debut by a film that he didn't write. I know he wrote In the Heights but didn't direct it. I am hit and miss with Lin-Manuel Miranda. Apologies for that. In the sense that I find a little bit of Lin is alright, and then a little bit too much of Lin can be a little bit like, go away. But yeah, he does a great job directing Tick Tick Boom, I think, in the sense that he keeps it really entertaining when he's actually telling what's quite a sad story. Yeah. So that was my number 7. What's your number 6?
A film that I apparently think is better than The Worst Person in the World. Maybe I do. I'm going to talk about it. James Wan's Malignant.
Oh, nice! I think you do, and I think you should.
I think I probably do.
And I
think I probably do. I think I'm feeling comfortable with this. Malignant is a film which absolutely just jaw on the floor. Like, are we actually doing this? It completely wrong foots you with this just bizarre fucking energy all the way through the film. You know, you've got that start pre-credits bit, which feels like it's just out of something completely different, and then it cuts to the fucking like almost like metal music in the fucking credit sequence. And it's like, right, what is happening here? The odd fucking like sprinklings of Where Is My Mind?
Yep.
Which actually becomes quite a fucking bang on, look what's happening here. You know, like reference to Fight Club. And it's James Wan doing his thing, making visually dynamic horror cinema, but also absolutely hamming it up. The fucking moment that woman breaks free of the attic, walks along, and then just fucking like crashes through the ceiling of the fucking living room.
The thing is, it's unbelievably ballsy filmmaking. Not in the sense that it's ballsy in the sense that it's of showing off or anything like that. It's ballsy in the sense that at some point James Wan has explained this and they've gone, I need this much money to make this movie, and they've gone, are you sure? And he's gone, oh yeah, trust me. Just fucking trust me. And I love the fact that somebody has gone, do you know what? Yeah, we do.
I mean, this is it. It's James Wan. Absolutely got a blank check with this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was obviously something that he wanted to do. He likes keeping his hand in the horror stuff. He produces a lot of stuff, but the fact that he's still directing, I think, is wonderful. You know, it's like I look at Sam Raimi and what he does with Ghost House Productions, and it's like the last horror film he made was over a decade ago. You know, James Wan, once he started doing Fast and Furious films, he could have been like, yeah, alright, see you later. But no, he wants to have fun. He wants to fucking play in that sandbox. And he comes up with the most fucking bananas fucking shit of a third act, where you are watching Gabriel take down an entire prison cell of people doing all this athletic shit while Annabelle Wallace's head is just fucking on the back of him with her eyes closed. You know, it's like, what the fuck am I watching? And I remember coming back from the cinema and Donna, bless her, like, she'll ask me, what do you see, what you're gonna see? And I'll basically, like, 2-line review it and be done. And I literally had to, like, set her aside and just go, Don, you're not going to fucking believe what I just watched, right? And I basically, just told her the entire plot. And she was just like, I'm never going to watch that, but that sounds like you had the best time. And I did. It's such a fucking baller move from James Wan. And I respect that shit so much that, you know, it's like, shit, man, do you know what? You didn't come back for Conjuring 3. you produced Conjuring 3. Hopefully you were let down by the end product of the Conjuring 3. But you know what? You fucking made Malignant.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd love to have sort of just been there when James Wan was explaining the premise of the movie to Annabelle Wallace. And just to see what her reaction is of going, go on then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of seems like Annabelle Wallace is more than happy to come and play as well, you know, and it's just like good on her. You know, yeah. Malignant is just really, really fucking fun. And yeah, just perfect. Like, what do I want out of James Wan film after Aquaman? I want Malignant. And now he's going to go back and do Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, you know, and fine, you know, we'll see what happens there. He's really good at world building, but shit, dude made Aquaman and got Warner Brothers to fucking pay for Malignant.
Got Warner Brothers to give $40 million to do Malignant.
Fucking brilliant.
And it's probably getting a sequel.
God's sake, like, don't. Because you know they're going to think of something else to try and top it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go. Wait, so people like this enough to get a sequel. We need to work out how we can say this, but make this batshit.
Hell yeah! Oh, how exciting!
Yep. My number 6. Sorry, I lost count there. Is Paul Schrader's The Card Counter. Another one that is just true to form, as in, of course, Mark liked The Card Counter. It's a weird cast that kind of makes sense. The fact that you've just got essentially Oscar Isaacs, Tiffany Haddish, Ty Sheridan, and Willem Dafoe. It kind of feels like they feel like the sort of people where they could both be picked out at random out of a generator, but then when you put them together, it does work, and it works really well. Oscar Isaacs and Tiffany Haddish have a really good chemistry together. It's interesting seeing Tiffany Haddish in a non-comedic role within this movie. And she's really good at it. Oscar Isaacs, he very much has always been an actor who has done essentially kind of whatever he wants, and has managed to become like a proper movie star. Would you say? Yeah. He's not like
I think Moon Knight is going to do very well for him in just a kind of like a general everyone kind of thing. I don't know what awareness of him there would be outside of film people, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the Star Wars thing, you say, because there is that the element there, but like he seems to be an actor who he made Star Wars back because he wanted to be in the Star Wars movies, not just because it was like, right, this will elevate me to the next level. But Card Counter is very much Paul Schrader essentially using his first reformed little bump that he had there, because he's not a director who's not been making movies. He has been making movies. It's just they've all been a bit crap. And then First Reform comes out, and it's a fantastic movie, and he uses that to jump on to, you know, grabbing a good cast and a little bit of a budget, and then makes The Card Counter, a movie that he quite easily could have made with James Caan in the 70s or the early 80s.
Yeah,
and
so you're right.
Would have been exactly the same movie. It is a very slow builder that gets to the end and doesn't even have that huge payoff. It has the scene that happens in another room, and then brings that the bit that's happened, then brings it out to you. So you don't get to see what happened. You get to hear it, and you get to see the aftermath. And it's a bit of fuck you filmmaking with that. You could say maybe they didn't have the budget, maybe they didn't have the choreography, they didn't have the time to work out how to do all of that. I just think it was Schrader either couldn't be bothered or just wrote it like that. And I kind of love that. He's a contrarian prick, is Schrader, but I think he's one of those few people who I'm not quite sure he has the talent that he thinks he has, but then again, he still has a lot more talent than most people.
I don't know. He feels like one of the last, not necessarily a dying breed, because it feels like we still got 10, 20 years out of some of them, but of that group of filmmakers who are just like, I made some meteoric works, and yes, alright, there might be troubling aspects to them now, but fuck you. And he feels like he feels like that, and I love how iconoclastic he is. And it's going to be a massive shame when Schrader's gone, but it's great. And he maybe it's the exception that proves the rule, but when Tarantino's like, I don't want to be one of those filmmakers who just fucking goes out making their least work, it felt like Schrader was going to be doing that for a good long while, but he's really come out of that tailspin, and I hope that continues.
Yeah, that's it.
He was done.
Yeah,
like he was done before First Reformed, and now he's come out with like 2 really solid fucking bits of work.
That's it. He's got one. He's making a movie next. With Sigourney Weaver and Joel Edgerton.
I mean that cracking. I mean it's like Coppola, like Megapolis. He looks like it's going to be underway, and he's got a good cast for that, and he's basically self-financing with like $100 million budget, and it's like, God, would it not be fucking amazing to see Francis Ford Coppola go out on a banger?
Yeah. Because, what was his last movie? Twixt?
Probably. Yeah.
And, he's... there's an argument to suggest... Jesus Christ, that is a good cast. And John Voight.
Oh, God. All right.
But John Voight has now changed to rumoured. So maybe Coppola's told him to get the fuck out. Or maybe a few of the people have gone, on the John Voight thing there, Franny.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised after that fucking video. Trump is possessed by the spirit of Abraham Lincoln shit, or whatever it was he came out with.
Fucking hell. So what is your number 5, Ian?
My number 5 is Flea.
Ooh.
So, again, it's another one. It's the last one that I'll be talking about that I discussed pretty much solely on the LFF podcast. But yeah, this is an animated documentary, but also international feature, directed by Jonas Apua Rasmussen. And it tells the story of a gentleman by the name of Amin, who flees, as it says, his home country with his family when oh, you alright?
Yeah, sorry, one video thing cropped up on my iPad when I was looking at IMDb for Flea.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Sorry. So yeah, he it basically tells the story of when he was young, kind of younger, He tries to flee Afghanistan with his family, and he goes through human trafficking, basically. And they're kind of like the travails of his earlier life trying to find a home, while also being gay. So, holy fucking shit. A guy in Afghanistan, trying to flee Afghanistan, finding it really difficult to leave Afghanistan, finding fucking refuge in Russia, and being gay.
Wow. I mean, it's almost like a man has picked all of the worst things you can do at that time.
Yeah. And it basically cuts between his life now, where he's an academic and he's got a long-term boyfriend, and he's very, like, his boyfriend wants to kind of like set up home together and move to the country and kind of like just make a life together, and he's constantly feeling like he might have to, like, he's a little bit like Robert De Niro in Heat. It's like, you know, like maybe not quite, like, don't have anything in your life that you can't leave 30 seconds flat, but constantly just like, something is going to happen where I am going to need to leave, and he's just very, very on edge for the whole thing. And through the film, he reveals something which I'm not going to spoil, but almost kind of like, it feels like legally it could have gotten him into trouble, through a disclosure that he makes in this, that he's never told anyone. And it's nothing dodgy. He hasn't committed like a crime against anyone, but he's kind of like broken the law and lied. And it's this, the animation styles differ through the film, and are very, very, very evocative. So, like, the first time when it flashes back even, goes back to Afghanistan in the 1980s, and he's running around, I think he's like flying a kite or something, if I remember correctly, and listening to Take On Me, and the animation is like really vivid and full of life. But then there are these sequences where he's basically being people trafficked, and it's almost completely monochrome and just like kind of like brush strokes, as opposed to anything fully featured in the animation. But then when it's like the present day stuff, I was reminded of Richard Linklater's Waking Life in like the animation style there. And it's absolutely captivating. I mean, it like, just such an experience to watch. And I watched it on just like a virtual screening link on my laptop during LFF. And seeing this on the big screen would have been a hell of a thing, actually. A hell of a thing. And it's a film that could make Oscar history, being nominated for Best Documentary, Best Animated Feature, and Best International Feature. And I really hope it wins at least one of them.
At least one, yeah.
I think, to be fair, I think it's probably got its best chance at Best Documentary. Best International Feature, I think, could be Drive My Car, could be The Worst Person in the World. But I'd love to see this win. Animated, I think fucking Encanto's going to get it, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, so...
It's the most known one right now.
Yeah, quite. But I think Flea's biggest competition is probably The Rescue, which is directed by the people who won the Oscar a couple years back for Free Solo. So I think that might count against them. So, yeah. But yeah, Flea, it's a wonderful bit of work. And I think it's getting a release here in the next month or so. So, yeah, it's
nice.
really, really worth watching.
Can actually catch it, yeah.
Yeah.
So my number... Oh, fuck, I keep getting numbers here. 5. Yes, there we go. Number 5 is Amir Thompson, better known as Questlove. It's his documentary Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised.
Fuck, I tried to fit this one in and I couldn't.
Yeah, it's...
Fuck.
So, basically, a documentary about the... I'm trying to remember what it's specifically called. The Harlem Cultural Festival in 1969, which was a series of festivals sort of dedicated to black culture within Harlem. And then these were professionally shot by a proper TV film crew, and then the footage was just literally hidden away. So then Questlove makes a documentary film which essentially is like the best bits of the the festival over, I think it's 5 over like 5 weekends. It's like all of the best bits, but then peppers it with history of what was going on at the time in the black community, not just around Harlem, but in America in general, and why this was an important time for black culture, and why it was. But also looks into, well, why wasn't this shown? You know, these weren't like little events; they were huge, events. And also, but then the genius bit that he does is he tracks down people that were there, not only some of the acts that were there, but the actual people who'd gone to it, and talks to them. And there's a great bit of it of somebody literally going, I genuinely thought I might have just imagined this, because there was nothing about it. It's just become forgotten. And then you've got,
that's crazy.
You've got one of the acts from it, and they're saying, and he's showing them it, and they're going, "We've never seen this. It's the biggest audience we've ever played to, ever, and it's one of the most important, it's one of the most important gigs of our lives, and this is the first time we've ever got to watch it. This is amazing." And it's a really vibrant, fun, documentary. You don't need to know the music. Questlove is literally going to guide you through it and just show you how much fucking fun and joy this music is. So you've got bits from like Stevie Wonder in there, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Sly and the Family Stone, Fifth Dimension, and Nina Simone, and people like this. And it's a really great watch. I watched it that's like Saturday night with a takeaway, and it was just and a few beers, and it was a really great watch. I believe it is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is indeed.
I didn't get that.
Thank you, Siri. Yes, you just recorded everything that I just said, and then said, I didn't quite get that. So yeah, really good documentary.
Yeah, I need to watch that. And I will, because it's going to get nominated for Best Documentary at the Oscars, and I will do the thing I did last year and watch every single fucking film that was nominated. And I will. I need a pee.
All right, we'll break for you to go for a pee. I'm going to get a drink, and then we'll come back with surprises.
Cool. Here's some ads for other podcasts we wanna fuck.
Damn right we do.
Hey Hannah, I think you really can't beat a good rewatch of a TV show. Would you agree with that, love?
Oh, yes, I would.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think during, global pandemics, storms, all of these things, it's quite nice to just sit down and burn through something that you've seen a million times.
Absolutely, nothing like a binge watch.
Star Trek.
Babylon 5.
Because you could sit there for hours looking at serial killer documentaries.
Absolutely. That
Netflix.
doesn't make you a weird person at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, you could watch documentaries that all seem to be about women killing men.
Love you, darling.
You could put off watching Daredevil for the 30th time.
Harry Potter.
But really, you can't beat immersing yourself in the warm jumper of a rewatch of a show or a franchise.
Beloved franchise.
A beloved franchise.
Lord of the Rings.
Twin Peaks. From VHS compilations recorded off television with the ad breaks, cut out of course, to DVD box sets of Sex and the City and, I don't know, Smallville.
Farscape.
Quantum Leap. To giving up finding new content on Netflix and just having a comfort trawl through Star Trek The Next Generation or Parks and Recreation. I think that we can all agree.
There's a lot to be said for that.
You can't beat a good rewatch. So, with that in mind, join
Anna
and Mike from Chinstroker vs. Punter as we burn through some of our favourite franchises and share our immediate reactions to each instalment in both spoiler and non-spoiler sections. To do that, do a search for the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever your favourite podcast provider may be, or go directly to anchor.fm/rewatch project. We are proud members of the Pod Syndicate family of podcasts.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever? Putting 4 and 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, the Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film-related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Right, cool.
Right.
Ready to kick on.
Go on then, Ian. What are your top 5 surprises of the year?
Oh, shit. Let's go. Right, so... my number 5 is Finch.
Nice.
And I think just because... It was a film that had been out in the ether for a while. Universal originally had it, and it was originally titled BIOS. And it just seemed to be kind of like being moved around the schedule and whatnot. And then Apple bought it. And, Apple bought Greyhound in 2020. And Greyhound was good. It was a decent film. But, Finch... It just felt like the kind of thing that, like, you'd imagine if... it was made in the 80s, the kind of thing that Amblin would have made.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Just a very, nice, but not without fret tale of connection, with fun, danger, comedy, suspense, and I thought it really worked, actually, did Finch, and, I fucking properly teared up at the end as well. Well, or at the bit towards the end. So, yeah, Finch. Number 4 is The Many Saints of Newark, because I have barely any connection to The Sopranos, but I really enjoyed it.
I agree. It's a good film.
Yeah, just really good world building and whatnot, and I don't know. I was kind of thinking, shit, is this just going to be 2.5 hours of shit I don't really understand? But I thought it told a pretty complete story, to be fair.
That's it.
It does.
You didn't need to understand it, but I think if you did, you'd probably get more out of it, but you got easily enough out of it, just not.
Yeah, quite, yeah. And yes, there's that young Tony Soprano stuff, and now people are talking about, could there be an HBO Max series about the young life of Tony Soprano? Would I watch it? No. But I don't think it necessarily derailed from the film either. So, yeah, Many Saints of Newark. My number 3, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. because it just the only trailer that I think came out was basically them kind of like moving their feet to a song or something, and it was like, what is this? And then the opening 10 minutes come along. It's like that kid fucking singing along to that song. And then it being, right, Kristen Wiig is also playing some sort of evil, like, criminal who is trying to... I can't even remember. Something about bees or something. I don't know. But, and it was like, what the fuck is happening? And just all through that film, it was like the film that surprised me the most during the film, as much as anything else. But it was just like, I wasn't expecting anything from this. It just looked like a complete vanity project. It was like that Lionsgate just dumped out on home video release in February. To be fair, the fact that it was planned to get a theatrical release is still fucking mental. I remember Cineworld were like their kind of like promotional trailers. They were like talking about what's coming out this year, and I'd always notice Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar and just be like in like the titles flashing across the screen. Yeah. It was like, you taking the piss?
Yeah. There's always one of those random odd ones, isn't there? In there.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, God, I remember like working at the cinema and getting the trailer in for Angus Fong's and Full Frontal Snogging.
Oh, man.
And just being like, that's not a film. That's got to be a fucking code name for a trailer. Like, because sometimes we get trailers with code names in. That, you know, because they're for something else. And I thought it was one of those. And it was like, no, shit, that's a film.
It's a real film.
Yeah, so, yeah, Barb and Star. Good film, funny. And Donna and I had a fucking great time watching that, I've got to say. Like, really worked for the both of us. My number 2 is Antlers.
Ooh, yes, I still need to watch this.
Yeah, and basically because... pre-watching it, people were like, well, this is a horror film directed by a person who doesn't like horror, and this is just elevated horror, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's a perfect film, but it is fucking creepy, and it's got some gnarly body horror in it, and it is mean. It is a fucking mean film. And it feels like Scott Cooper does know his shit. And I will say, the same people who are fucking bumming Censor, but going, oh, well, no, Antlers is obviously made by somebody who doesn't know or really like horror at all. Fuck off. There you go. Number 2 is Antlers. My number 1, Free Guy. Free Guy is fucking great. Free Guy was number 16 on my list.
That's great. That because honestly, it was one of those ones where I watched it and I really liked Free Guy, and I thought this is either going to really hit with Ian or it's really not.
Honestly, it was one of my birthday films this year, along with Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes, good film, great fucking closing credits.
Yes.
That film needed to have that energy more, but yeah, Free Guy, just great hangover therapy, and then I watched it at home with Donna and had just as good a time. It is a sweet and good-natured film which does a great job at world building, gives Jodie Comer loads of stuff to do, but also lets Ryan Reynolds do his thing. I like Ryan Reynolds doing his thing. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard wasn't far off my surprises list as well, quite frankly. Because of how much I liked it. I mean, I liked the first one, but Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is fucking fun. Like, really, really fun. The ending of that film is incredible. and everybody fully knows what they're doing with that. But Free Guy, it's terrific. I think it is great mainstream entertainment. Like that's it. Yeah. I look forward to watching it again.
Yeah, well, yeah. I rewatched it recently, and it's really, really sweet and charming and wonderful.
It's just a lovely film. It's a lovely fucking film.
Yep. So my surprises are number 5, 8-Bit Christmas.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
In the sense, I'm not surprised I like this, but I am a little bit surprised at how much I liked this, and now it is firmly set in my brain as, yep, that is a movie I'm going to watch every single Christmas for the rest of time.
Nice.
My number 4 is The Unholy, which was the first film I went back to the cinema to watch because
hell yeah,
we missed Spiral. We both got out of work like a little bit late or something like that between me and Bex, and so we missed Spiral. But then The Unholy was literally playing like quarter of an hour later, so we're like, yeah, we'll go and see that. It was just, we will go and see anything. We just wanted to go to the cinema because it had been like 6 months nearly at that point. It was the longest point, wasn't it? It was like, It was longer than the first lockdown. So yeah, The Unholy.
Yeah.
And then it was actually really, I enjoyed it. So it's one of those. Number 3, Eternals. Yeah,
fair. Totally.
If you'd have explained to me at the start of the year, just after I watched Nomad Land, that the director of that movie would direct possibly my second favourite Marvel movie of this year, then yeah, I'd have been like, yeah, go fuck yourself. But no, that's kind of what happened. Yeah, I like Eternals. I can see why other people don't, but I like it. It's a bit daft, but I'm not even sure that it knows it's daft. And I think that's kind of what I like.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
My number 2 is Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar.
Hell yeah, good man.
Because that film again is daft again, but it also contains Jamie Dornan singing to a pigeon, I think it is, or a seagull.
I think it's a seagull, but yeah.
And then climbing a palm tree with his bare hands. It's
nice.
That man's post 50 Shades work is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I very much enjoyed Balanstar Go Vista Del Mar. Yeah, I think it came along at exactly the right time.
Nice.
And my number 1, which was also I think my number 17 movie, is The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh yeah!
It's just a massive. There's a possibility I think that it throws too much at the screen. In terms of it is for the first sort of 10-15 minutes, it is throwing a joke at you every sort of 7 or 8 seconds. That it almost gets a little bit too much. But yeah, the hit rate on it is incredible in terms of comedies should not land that high a percentage of their jokes. They just shouldn't.
No, but it works.
Yep. Right. What's your number 4, Ian?
My number 4 is Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Lost Daughter.
Very nice.
We reviewed it a few weeks back. The Lost Daughter is it's just a great fucking film. It is impeccably acted from all involved. I was wrapped up in its fucking nervous energy for the entire runtime. the scene where Olivia Colman is having a go at those guys disrupting the cinema showing, just, yeah, absolutely there with you. I think I'll refer people to our review a few episodes back, to be honest, but I think Maggie Gyllenhaal has obviously just been around the block in terms of film, like being on film sets enough that she just knows what to do.
It's an incredibly assured piece of filmmaking.
Yeah, as a directorial debut, it's insane, and it's like, she's probably had a head start, but good on her. Yeah, I displayed Chapter in Cardiff before Christmas, and I wish I had the time to go see it on the big screen. And it was a film that I went to to watch just as a right, got to get this in then. And it really kind of just fired my. There's still good shit around, for everything that I've talked about over the past couple of years about content. Everything's got to have fucking cameos or multiverses or connecting to things. Now, do you know what? Sometimes somebody like Maggie Gyllenhaal and the very talented cast and crew can, and one of the best scores of the year as well, by the way, can just fucking go and make this, and it's great. It's a terrific film, and God, I'd love it if she got a fucking screenplay nomination out for this. It'd be so well deserved. And I'm Maggie Gyllenhaal. I'm here for whatever the fuck she does in the future. Like, brilliant.
Yeah, you'd hope that this isn't just like I had an idea for a directorial thing, and I probably won't do another one. You kind of go, no, please make more.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's like a lot of people are really amped for Olivia Wilde's follow-up to Booksmart, Don't Worry, Darling. And it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely, we'll see. I'm up for that, and I am. But I don't know. It kind of feels like she was like straight away, right? What's my next thing? Let's go. I'll take some hopefully slower and more considered stuff that Gyllenhaal wants. Like in the actress's directorial debut stakes, The Lost Daughter, absolutely fucking Cleveland steamers all over Booksmart.
Yeah. Yes, without question.
Yeah.
One is a grown-up movie. The other is Booksmart.
I'm looking forward. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. And like when I was talking about the worst person in the world and like kind of culture moving on and whatnot, in 5-10 years, there's going to be some shit in Booksmart that people fucking take against.
Oh god, yeah.
And like people are going to be fucking. It's going to happen because that's what happens with culture now. But then it's like the folks. I don't know. I'm sure there are people who genuinely love Booksmart, but there's just some people who just seem to be jumping on a fucking bandwagon with that film, and it did fucking nothing, and it's had the cultural imprint of a fucking fart.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry, I don't know why I'm Booksmart bashing. Lost Daughter is fucking brilliant, and I hope Maggie Gyllenhaal is really, really fucking happy with how people have responded to it.
Yes. Yeah, great film. Didn't quite make my... What is that? I think it didn't quite hit me as much as it hit you, but yeah, it's a really, really good film.
I was literally WhatsApping Noel all the way through that fucking thing, Mark. Like, just... She's just blah, blah, blah. And now this has happened. What's happening? Just I was vibing hard.
Yeah, it's great when that happens, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
My number 4, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah. So my number 4 is Belfast.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fuck, that's in your top 10?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Why
did I watch the 3-hour-long Japanese film when I could have watched Belfast?
What I will say is, Belfast is 98 minutes long.
Fuck! I'm gonna watch that and Petite Maman in the same amount in less time. In less time, Mark.
You actually could have done, yeah. I won't go too much into like the actual. Well, the thing is, Belfast is a very, very simple story. It's.
Oh, but I'm sure it's fucking beautiful and fuck me. Sorry, Mark.
It's 1969. It's set in, funny enough, in Belfast. And it tells the story of Buddy, played by Jude Hill, who is 9 years old and is from a Protestant family, and essentially the world that's around him, which he can't quite understand. What's wrong? Why does some other Protestants hate the Catholics? And should I hate the Catholics? But that isn't the actual crux of the story. The crux of the story is just his day-to-day kind of life. So he's got a crush on a girl. His dad has to, played by Jamie Dornan, has to work in England, so he only gets to see him like every weekend, and there's all of every other weekend, and there's all of these bits going on. I'm baffled, like genuinely baffled, how nobody's mentioning Catherine Balfe, who plays his mother.
She's gonna get a Best Supporting Actress nomination, mate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, she absolutely should. She is incredible in this. I also love the fact that Buddy is credited as Buddy. Catherine Balfe is credited as Ma. Jamie Dornan is credited as Pa. Judi Dench is credited as Granny, and Kieran Hines is credited as Pop. Kieran Hines is fantastic in this. It's just, I won't go too much into it because I think you should watch it. It's a really sweet, fun, often funny, but tells the story it's telling at the same time as well. There is some bits in it. Bex turned around to me at one point. By the way, Bex turned around to me at one point and said, "She is fucking incredible to look at." About Catherine Balfe. I was like, yes, Becky, she is. And it's like,
yeah, she's a striking woman.
She is intoxicating to watch. I was like, yes, Becky, she's intoxicating to watch. There is a bit where Jamie Dornan sings Everlasting Love to her, and they dance, and it's glorious. 2 films this year where Jamie Dornan sings bits that are glorious. Belfast is very good, and it does look brilliant. It's the best film Branagh's made in a while, and Branagh can be hit and miss. It's really enjoyed my time with it.
Oh man,
what's your number 3?
Fuck.
Is it Drive My Car?
Fuck. Alright, just while we're talking about it, Drive My Car. That film is a good film. Good film. Right? Spent 3 hours over the last couple of days in year-end cram watching it. And it's nowhere fucking near any of my lists. I am fuming. can't be helped. It can't be helped. But that film is a solid 4 out of 5. Solid 4 out of 5.
But it's 3 hours long.
But it's 3 hours long. And yeah, like that film did not need to be 3 hours long. I am so fucking sorry, film Twitter. But no. And I think it's going to win Best International Feature.
It is, yeah.
It fucking doesn't deserve it.
It is, mate.
That's there's 3 contenders in my top 10. So, I'm not being myopic, but it doesn't fucking deserve it. So, yeah. Cool. Very cool. Buddy. You're pissed off about your wife dying and you not quite knowing about the mysteries of her. You could have said that in 2.5 at least. Just come on.
you didn't need the extra half hour, you prick.
Yeah, Didn't need it. It's a good film. It's Drive My Car, and I recommend it. But if you're cramming for shit, nah, mate, you can let it wait. Right. My number 3, yeah?
Yep.
My number 3 is Lin-Manuel Miranda's Tick, Tick, Boom.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's great, and hey, I don't hate Lin-Manuel Miranda, folks. Like In the Heights, not great. Tick, Tick, Boom, fucking brilliant. I think that he has a very sure hand on what works cinematically. I think, again, for a directorial debut, very, very, very assured. Andrew Garfield has never been better, despite what some Spider-Man No Way Home people might say. But yeah, I don't think it's been as good as this since The Social Network. It's a fully lived-in performance. Great cast, great, fantastic musical numbers that are like you said, Mark, the fucking earworms. Like 3090, that's a fucking fantastic fucking song. Jesus Christ! I think the
beauty of Tick, Tick, Boom is you can talk to several people that have seen it and that really, really like it, and everybody will have a different favourite song.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people like Boho Days, absolutely. The one that he sings to Alexander Shipp, and like he's singing that to her and Hudgens, isn't he?
Yeah,
in that moment, yeah, like that's great. Therapy, that's fantastic, and I like that Vanessa Hudgens has been like, all right, Netflix, I'll do your fucking Princess Switch films, but can you make sure I star in the Lin-Manuel Miranda film as well? I'm sure that's not how it worked, but I think that's great that she's still also doing work like this. It's a wonderful film, and just a lovely tribute to a guy who obviously meant a lot to a lot of people, and done in a really fucking interesting way as well.
Yeah, it is. It's a really yeah.
I've not seen Respect yet, and I think I might have to, because I think Jennifer Hudson might squeak in for a Best Actress nomination. But it's like that kind of like biopic of someone. Yeah, all right, fine. You're just doing a biopic. Here is something that it is admittedly helped by the fact that he kind of chronicled his life anyway. But the fact that it is the telling of his life while also the telling of his play about his life. It's a really interesting structure, and I think they make the most of it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Lin-Manuel Miranda does behind the camera. I hope it's not too long.
Yep, I agree.
So, yeah. Nice one.
I get into my mind now, don't I? Right.
Yes.
So, I've allowed myself this. I'm glad you allowed it earlier. Because I haven't allowed myself another that you could say I could have allowed myself. So,
right.
I didn't allow myself Rocky for the Rocky versus Drago director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't allow myself that because I think that's cheating. Even though it is dramatically different, I do think it's cheating because it is taking a level of nostalgia with me along the ride for the movie. So I loved that. That movie would have easily been in my top 10, but that felt like, now this is cheating. However, I don't think Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is my number 3, is cheating. It is a completely different fucking movie. It
is 100% a different experience from Joss Whedon's Justice League. Yeah, 100%, Mark.
I like the fact that it is essentially, and I genuinely hope that this is it for this for these characters. Not all of them, because we've got Aquaman and bits like that, but the fact that it teases at the end a movie that we all want to watch is beautiful. It is what? It's fucking 4 hours long. It's 4 and a bit, hours long, isn't it? Yet it feels pacier than the under 2 hours Justice League movie. I'm glad it got made. I know that there is a backlash against the whole idea of Zack Snyder fanboys and bits like that, but I think there is a very personal reason why Zack Snyder had to move away from the Justice League movie, and that didn't go well for anybody within that. So the fact that he got to do this and people went back for it, people might not like Zack Snyder movies, they might not like the fandom around Zack Snyder movies, and I can agree with that, but let's be honest, there's a lot of toxic fandom out there, and Zack Snyder isn't. He was fighting against it as well for that, but I genuinely do think he might be one of the good guys that everyone is desperate to be, that he's one of the bad guys. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a very, very good film.
Yep. It is. Like, yeah.
Go on.
I'm very, very cool. I'm very fucking pleased that that's made an appearance somewhat for both of us.
Yeah, I am. It's just, I toyed with it. At one point, it was my number 10. And then I was like, no, but I like it more than that. And it just kept on going up and up and up. And I was like,
that's cool.
I don't know whether I don't know whether I should have it there. And then that made me go, but it's fucking staying there. Go on, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. Watched it again in the last couple of weeks, and that film holds up beautifully.
I watched it this week.
I think... Shit, you did.
Yeah.
Alright, no, let's just turn to you. What were your thoughts?
As somebody who is very miss an occasional hit with Wes Anderson, I really like the setup. I really liked the I like the world that it's created. I like the style that he's going for. He has leaned further and further into this style, and I'm kind of digging it. I'm all right with it. The little Owen Wilson prologue bit was quite fun. I enjoyed that. The Benicio del Toro story was without question the strongest for me. So I would say overall I enjoyed The French Dispatch, but it does kind of go off a cliff for me a little bit. It's the first part of it is so much stronger for me than the last story was the worst story for me.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I mean, no, fair enough. I mean, I
think if it had gone the last story first, if it had gone the other way around, the opposite order.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'd have probably liked it. I probably would have held it in a higher regard. But then there's a possibility that it might have irked me too much to enjoy the last bit. But yeah, but overall, I would say that I enjoyed The French Dispatch.
Yeah, I think the last story is kind of like the most maybe kind of like the most dynamic. Like, there's the most action. So from a kind of like a flow point of view, I kind of wonder whether I could see. I think I can understand why Anderson structured it in the way that he did. But but no, I mean that's fair enough. Yeah, I really fucking like all three stories, and the middle story has got Frances McDormand and a bunch of fucking French teenagers, which is quite a fucking high bar to clear, I think, to be honest, for me. I like Frances McDormand, but just, yeah, I don't know, like, she rubs me up the wrong way more than her performances. But yeah, I just think it's a lovely little trip through these varying stories. I find them all very entertaining in different ways, but it's all shot through with that Wes Anderson secret sauce that I dig. It's I think there's a lot of heart and a lot of meaning to this. I mean, like with the McDormand and Chalamet story, the idea of the kind of like the young revolutionary inspiring people in the future, despite the fact that he did some really good things in his life, but he was also a bit of a fucking tit who was just young.
Yeah,
I like that. That's just a lovely little bit. But like in the first story, the relationship between Adrian Brody and Benicio del Toro, where it kind of feels like it's antagonistic, but it's not really. They're just kind of coming at art from two different perspectives, and they seem to realize, like, meet in the middle and realize that at the end. I think that's lovely. And the Jeffrey White stuff. What is it that he says? I was insufficiently early. Like, if I'm ever late for something, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that story, I don't know, I really liked it. Just the Chef Nescafe. It's just the way that everybody kind of knows who he is, and even the criminals are like, is Nescafe there to like make us dinner, and that's the thing that provides the way for the police to get in. I think it's wonderful. It's a tribute to The New Yorker, which is a magazine I don't really have any fucking affection with, but I don't know, the whole writing about different things and how you can just appreciate the writing of those things even if they're about subjects that you don't have a connection to personally. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of film, to be honest. It's film takes you to many different places and talks about many different topics that you don't necessarily think about in your day-to-day. But the skill of the people who are kind of creating those worlds and telling those stories, it invite you in and make you think about those things. And I think Anderson is kind of trying to tell you, like, pay tribute to that about the written word and how it can help expand your horizon as horizons as film has done for me. And I just think it's a lovely bit of work, to be honest. A very genuine, heartfelt bit of work, and apparently his next one might be out this year, and let's fucking go.
It's one of those where there's often with Anderson ones where they are nails down a chalkboard for me. This wasn't at all, and I can absolutely see if you're an Anderson fan, this would be like just absolutely glorious for those people, and I can absolutely see that. Like I say, I enjoyed my time with it, and I probably will watch it again, to be honest.
That's great. I mean, it further cements that he's in my top 5 working directors, if not top 3. And I think I said at the time, it's like when I was talking about it on the show originally, it's like I didn't quite ever realise that, but yeah, I really do realise that now. He's extremely my shit.
Good.
Yeah.
My number 2 is somebody who is extremely my shit.
Is it Cop Shop?
It's not Cop Shop. I was tempted that. I was tempted to pull a Cop Shop sabotage, like fuck you to everybody. Where Sabotage is my number 10 movie of that year. And I still stand by that.
Wow.
I get the feeling if I said that to Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sabotage was my number 10 movie of that year, he'd go, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah, probably.
I'm like, yes, I am. My number 2 is Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza.
Okay, sorry, yeah, of course, that makes way more sense than Cop Shop.
Yeah, Licorice Pizza's just... I honestly haven't stopped thinking about it since I watched it, and it has gone up so much since I watched it. Sorry, I lost you there.
No, you're there.
Yeah, it's just it's that perfect little look. This is just a slice of life. There's nothing happens. There's nothing world changing that happens within this. It is just a series of fucking stupid stories that people have been told, set around these two people that might kind of be arseholes. And I'm alright with that. It's a hangout movie that doesn't ever really hang out. It's zany in a way that isn't shouting, "Look at me, how zany I am," and it's a filmmaker just making a film, and it's very easy. And I think there's comparisons to be made between your number 2 and the filmmaker who made it, and my number 2 and the filmmaker who made it, in the sense that these are absolutely 100% auteur filmmakers, and we keep getting told by the film world that we don't get these auteur filmmakers anymore. It's like, yeah, we do. There's loads of them. There are as many around now as there were in the 70s when, you know, the auteur filmmaker had its boom. They're there, and their films are getting made. It's just that there's also more blockbusters than there used to fucking be, because they didn't exist as much then. I just hope that Paul Thomas Anderson just continues to just make the fucking films he wants to make, and I hope that we get the next one is one of his more serious ones, and then we get another just fucking hangout movie. I can't wait to see Licorice Pizza again. I wish that it had come out when I was able to have been able to travel to go and see one of the 70mm prints of it. But the way that travelling is at the moment, and you know the fact that it's fucking January, doesn't help.
I mean, to be fair, friend of the show James Lawrence fucking travelled down to London from the north and got fucked.
Yeah,
that's it. A 70mm presentation of that. So yeah, I can see.
Yeah, that's it. If I'd have done that, I would have been angrily crying.
Yeah, I should have said the Iron Sequels James Lawrence instead of friend of the show, because the Iron Sequel Pod Syndicate podcast, damn it.
Yep. Ian, do you want to rattle through your worst 10?
Oh, yeah, why not then? Okay, so my number 10 is Don't Breathe 2.
That's very fair.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. Like, Don't Breathe was already a bit
nasty.
Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, Don't Breathe 2, it's just like, what? And now you want us to fucking feel sorry for him?
But he's not any better.
No, I just a fucking mental idea for a sequel. And I know that, like, in the build-up, like, the filmmakers were saying, like, yeah, you know, we want to fucking rattle people's cages and stuff like that. It's like, hang on, by what? Like, trying to make us sympathise with a guy who fucking tried to artificially inseminate a fucking Jane Levy? Like, no. So, there you go, Don't Breathe 2. Don't do another one. Deary.
Please do another one.
Yeah, alright. My number 9, which, I'll be honest, I was trying to make this not work to be in my 10, so I could put it as my fucking most disappointing. Last Night in Soho.
Ooh. Fair enough.
Last Night in Soho is a bad fucking film made by someone who fully should be more skilled at telling a story. Like that. There you go. It has got a budget, like a big budget by British film standards. Has created a world which is intoxicating, and has decided to cast Thomasin McKenzie, who just can't do that role. Or just and has one of the just fucking dumbest third acts I've seen in quite some time, and has the guy from Attack the Block, bless him, fair play for Edgar Wright casting him and giving him work and whatnot, but is a complete wet blanket compared to everybody else on screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, it feels like a film about a teenage girl finding her way in the world, directed by a guy who's nearly in his 50s.
Yeah.
There you go. And yeah, it's not a good film, and I hope Wright listens to the constructive criticisms about it. It'll be intriguing to see what he does next.
Yeah, for sure.
And I come from a place, I have a great deal of time for Edgar Wright. We re-reviewed Scott Pilgrim vs. the World last year. I think that film was wonderful, and I know you don't. But it's I didn't want to hate Last Night in Soho. I really, really, really didn't. But I think that is a film that is the big, terrifying, scary city is bad to women. My God. I don't know. I don't think it's telling us anything new, and it feels like it really thinks it is. So, there you go. My number 9 worst film of the year is Last Night in Soho. My number 8 is a film that I'd forgotten I watched this year, Dogtanian and the Three Muskehounds, which, it basically, I mean, like, I took lots to see it, and it just, like, the bare minimum of absolutely every single element of the film. Every single element of that film is minimum viable product.
That's fair.
Really, really bad film. My number 7, sorry, I'll speed up. My number 7, Neil Blomkamp's Demonic.
Oh god, yeah, you watched that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's a fuck.
You're the person who watched it.
Film. I am the person who watched it. Me and the people at Fright Fest. The fact that Fright Fest had this, as I think it might have been their opening night film.
It was, yeah.
And it was out on digital download the day after, and you're paying how much to go to fucking Fright Fest anyway. Well done, you got a video introduction for Neil Blomkamp. I'm sure that was worth the fucking £200 you had to pay this year. My number 6, yes, my number 6 is The Woman in the Window. Don, do you remember watching The Woman in the Window?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Alright.
It was alright, okay. So, for Don, it was alright, because Don watches a lot less films than me over the course of a year. It's fair to say, isn't it, babe?
Yeah, I didn't think it was, amazing.
No, there you go. Would you say it was one of the worst films you watched this year?
I can't remember.
Okay, thank you. To be fair, there's a lot of the Netflix Christmas stuff that you watched that probably would have been worse. Oh shit! All right, no, I've rattled a cage.
Don't know that because you enjoy those films, and I love that you enjoy those films.
What? No, I enjoy some of those films. Don goes down a rabbit hole. Don could have her own podcast about the films that she watches.
The thing is, that's a rabbit hole I'd love to fucking go down, because I bet some of those are just great.
Sorry, Don, say again?
Oh, you watched a couple this year.
You only watched a couple this year? Oh, okay. Alright.
Classics.
Sorry?
Just the classics.
What are the classic Netflix Christmas films?
Before Christmas.
Sorry?
The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I can't think of any of
Okay. So, yeah, the Woman in the Window, I mean, Fox sold it to Netflix, and it's like, yeah, you could see why, really. Fair enough. My number 5, Space Jam 2.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's pretty fucking offensive, to be honest with you. It's like... It still makes me laugh that they've got the devils, like the nuns from the devils.
Yeah, that's fucking bonkers.
And they're prominent. I just, that film is something else. My number 4, Red Notice. Right, come on. And the thing is, we're going to watch the sequels. We are.
Yeah, that's the problem.
My number 3 is a film I talked about on the last show, Dear Evan Hansen. I'll just refer you to the last show. My number 2 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Jason Reitman, you can suck my dick. I've talked a lot about Ghostbusters Afterlife. My number 1 worst of the film of the year is a film that until very recently I forgot that I watched in a cinema in 2021.
Go on.
Studio Ghibli's Earwig and the Witch.
You fucking hate that movie, don't you?
Right.
You are a public warning system for that movie. If somebody says they're going to watch it, you just go, you don't need to. I watched it, you don't need to.
I almost want to... Seriously, I almost want to set up a Twitter bot. It's just like whenever anybody mentions it, it's just like, you don't need to watch that. I feel... So, the Ghibli Tech podcast released a book last year, which is incredible. Cunningham and Leader. Amazing work, guys. That book is brilliant. I feel so fucking bad that they had to include Earwig and the Witch. I just... Goro Miyazaki, right? When Hayao Miyazaki is talking about Tales of Earthsea and saying it was a film made with the best of intentions or whatever fucking passive aggressive stuff he came out with about that. What the fuck must he have said to Goro about Earwig and the Witch? I mean, honestly, if Studio Ghibli already was wasn't limiting its output, it would put them in the fucking sea. It would bury them thousands of fathoms deep. It genuinely feels like they just couldn't finish it. That they just ran out of money. In both the fact that the story ends in a way that literally Lottie, at the time 7 years old, looked up at me when the credits started rolling and just said, "Is that it? Where's the rest of it?" And it's... The ending comes at a time where it's like, I really, really want to see how this goes from here, because this isn't actually the end of the story. the bit that you've ended it at is not actually the end.
Oh.
And then they play out some stuff with, like, just stills while the credits are rolling. It's like, yes, did you actually not have the money to animate this, the end? But it's a story about nothing. It's just scenes. I mean, My Neighbor Totoro is a lot of individual episodes. And they form a whole at the end with how it comes together at the end. Even if you had what the ending of The Wig and the Witch should have been, it still wouldn't have made any fucking sense of what had been happening in the film prior. It's awful filmmaking. And the fact that the fucking Studio Ghibli logo comes up at the start of it, honestly, it's almost making me fucking tear up. It is such a fucking insult to the legacy of that studio. And Goro Miyazaki, I hope he never forgives himself for it. Like, what was he doing? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are other factors at play, and I don't know, maybe it's just the Japanese culture, but it's the kind of thing you'd expect any self-respecting person to take their name off of. Awful fucking film. And yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife isn't the worst film of the year because Studio Ghibli made that.
I was surprised when it wasn't when Ghostbusters Afterlife wasn't your number one.
And honestly, Ghostbusters Afterlife doesn't deserve to be the worst of the film of the year when Earwig and the Witch exists. And I'm really fucking annoyed about that.
It's robbed you of being able to call it the worst film of the year.
No, yeah, but I'm being truthful. I can't, in all honesty, say that Ghostbusters Afterlife is worse, because it's not. Nope.
It's also, I'll give you, what is it? Ghostbusters Afterlife is not my worst film of the year either.
No, I'm sure it's not. And just to say, Dear Evan Hansen was relatively close to Ghostbusters After. If the last 20 minutes ago, Dear Evan Hansen weren't what they were, it would have been above Ghostbusters Afterlife. But yeah, sorry, Mark.
So mine are number 10, Outside the Wire, because I literally thought that I watched this about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was close to my bottom 10, and I was like, shit, was that last year?
Yeah. Number 9, Chaos Walking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lesson in maybe just don't release it. Just don't.
Yep.
Number 8, Old, because it's crap.
Oh, that was almost in my surprises.
Number 7, Spiral from the Book of Saw, because it's crap. When you have that much talent and you are a mid-level Saw movie, then something is wrong. The best bit of the movie is when fucking Chris Rock decides to do a bit of stand-up at the start. Number 6 is Godzilla vs. Kong. Because if you ask me to describe anything really? About that movie, I wouldn't be able to. It is that forgettable. And it's Godzilla vs. Kong. How can it be that forgettable? Number 5, Red Notice. Yes, we're going to watch the sequels and we're going to hate watch them because that's what we are now. Number 4, Midnight in the Switchgrass. I watched this so nobody else had to. I should create that bot. Except nobody's talking about Midnight in the Switchgrass because it was that quarter's Bruce Willis movie.
It was that week's Bruce Willis movie, dude.
Number 3, Ghostbusters Afterlife. just go back and listen to, like, I think it was last week's show. Number 2.
Hell yeah.
The Woman in the Window.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, The Woman in the Window. I don't understand how it's as bad as it is, but also I don't understand how Joe Wright got to make another movie.
And he's just done Cyrano as well.
Yeah. A movie that people keep on telling me is great. And it might be. But I don't want to watch it. Because I don't like anybody involved apart from Ben Mendelsohn. And my worst film of the year is Cherry.
Fair enough. Fucking fair enough.
Cherry looks literally like a bunch of drama brats. And I'm not talking like university level. I'm talking about like sixth formers. Somehow managed to make a movie and get Apple to finance it. But it wasn't. This was the Russo brothers, the people who did, you know, some of the biggest grossing movies of all time, and then they made this. It is... I liked some of the people involved. I liked Tom Holland. This is fucking awful. And it's 2 and a bit hours long. Why? It's not even that... It's not a new story. It's not a well-told story. It's not a good story. It's just a... It's a really, really bad film. And it makes you go, do you know what? Maybe the Russo brothers aren't that great. They just got lucky.
We'll see. They got that Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling action film for Netflix. We'll see what comes of that. But, yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling our number one's the same film.
Weirdly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we say it together?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
Yes.
Fuck. How is that your... I mean, that's great. That's great. That's terrific.
I will give the reason. The reason why it is my number one, and it unequivocally has to be my number one. And it's not just the fact that it's a very good movie. It is because the reaction I had to it in the cinema, watching it, to the last 15, 20 minutes, was up there as like some of my best cinema experiences ever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not... Because you are a Bond fan. I'm not a Bond fan, but I've been a Daniel Craig Bond film fan. And for them to do that, and to do what they did with it, was incredible. And to get... I genuinely think that the best male performance I have seen from an actor this year is Daniel Craig in No Time to Die, but it won't even get spoken about because it's a Bond movie, and that is wrong. Mm-hmm. That is gatekeeping of the highest fucking order.
Yeah, I mean, No Time to Die is one of those things where... I do think it's artificially boosted in some sense for myself, because it is a film that I laid a lot of groundwork for, as patrons will know. You know, like for non-patrons or people new to the show, on our Patreon, over the course of several years, I produced a show where I went through every Bond film and also did some commentaries for them. in the lead up to No Time to Die, and I think particularly of the GoldenEye one, which I recorded basically as I think the first delay happened, and the Tomorrow Never Dies one, where Andrew Jones and I were like, right, we actually think maybe the film is going to come out at the point where it was supposed to come out at the time, so let's do the Tomorrow Never Dies one. And then literally the day after, it got delayed again. And then I recorded the Spectre show. Well, I released the Spectre show the day before No Time to Die came out. So it had been a long lead, and there was a lot riding on No Time to Die for me. You know, it's that and Tenet were almost like my constants in lockdown to get me through it from a personal satisfaction kind of point of view. I mean, obviously, you know, got lots, and I've got Don, and having them, I mean, I can't imagine how fucking hard lockdown must have been if you were by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And I know at least one person's listening who was in that situation. Actually, I know at least two people listening who are in that situation, and I can't fucking imagine. And being that as it is, I still had to have some kind of constants kind of keeping me sane during the worst parts of it. And film kind of provided that, and the looking forward to things provided that. So when No Time to Die finally came out in September, it was, we're here. I can't quite believe that we're here. Let's go. And the fact that that film that was made pre-COVID, and, you know, just with the kind of the expectations of, okay, this is the final Daniel Craig film, for me, and I think probably an awful lot of other people, had heightened meaning for just how long we'd been waiting for it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it just was what it was a soulful bit of work. Daniel Craig using everything that he'd been through with the previous films, knowing that he was going out and just absolutely bringing it, all the cast bringing it, and you know, Rami Malek gets a lot of shit for the fact that he's, you know, barely on screen for a long part of it, and what's his character actually up to, and blah blah blah. But he is just this fucking damaged soul of a performance that is not right in the world and not right in the head because of the past trauma and whatnot. And I think that works, and I think he does well. The action is tremendous, but also, frankly, the wanting to rekindle memories in Bond fans of many years before are there with the... I mean, it's funny. When I was rewatching it at home, when when he says we've got all the time in the world, it kicks in. Donna was kind of like on a phone or something. She was just like, "That's what he says at the end of that one where his wife gets killed, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yep, yeah,
Yes, it is."
You know, just all. Yeah, just already there. And then All the Time in the World kicks in. I was just like, and, you know, this is the key song in that film, Don. And she was just like, yeah, I could see how that works. You know, just like, even though she has no connection to it. Like, literally, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, she just walked in on me. Like, And remember, folks, this was the commentary where my fucking kitchen was on fire halfway through it. I had to fucking pause to literally stop a fire in my kitchen and come back to it. But Donna, was in the room when I was watching that. And, I was recording. And afterwards, she was just like, they just kill his wife. It's like, yeah, they did. And the fact that George Lazenby says, "Oh, don't worry, we've got all the time in the world," and the fact that Donna remembered that was like, isn't that what he said? I don't know. There's just some weird cultural osmosis there that just worked. But yeah. Sorry, I've monologued a bit there, but it was a film that meant so fucking much to me throughout the whole of the pandemic, and it
worked.
It stuck the landing so beautifully. I mean, honestly, film's obviously a huge part of my life, but I kind of think No Time to Die, for what it managed to deliver versus the build up, I don't. Yeah, it's. I remember it to my dying day. It's the kind of, honestly, I know it sounds so fucking stupid, but it's the kind of thing. It's like bury a copy of the 4K with my fucking body. That kind of, along with a bunch of other things. But yeah, it was. It helped me through. Looking forward to that film helped me through a lot of the last few years, and it just stuck the landing beautifully. And I hope they're all really, really, really fucking proud of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I said my piece at the start, and I want to end with that, because I echo everything you said. I'm just so glad that it worked, and it is an impeccably good movie, and it wraps up the Craig bit fantastically. And like I say, there was genuinely bits in the cinema where I was quite literally edge of the seat, just tapping Becky, just not to get to watch it because she was watching it, but just going, what's going on, this is happening. And it was that. It had got me to that level. And that's great. It's a wonderful thing.
Sorry, just to say as well, I think I said at the time in the review, but it's like, at this point now, if they want to take Bond in a different direction, if Bond is just not going to be what Bond has been, if the Amazon thing means that there's TV series and blah, 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 I'm kind of all right with that, because I honestly don't know how
they top it.
Another Bond film ever tops it for me personally.
No, I'm
so it's fine.
I'm the same with that. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of year show. You'll get Becky's lists next week. She is literally 5 minutes away from coming back.
Shit, she's still not home.
No, they didn't.
So,
they didn't get
folks,
to her car. Didn't get finished till like half 7.
And folks, we're sorry, because obviously Bex is an integral part of the podcast, but it's schedules are what they are and intentions are what they are, and we didn't quite know that what was the situation with Bex tonight was going to be what it was, but it just oh shit, and that recording just died.
It is still recording on my, what is it? It's still going. Yeah, so it's still recording. I believe it's still connected to the
get Mark back,
call.
my
The call
yeah,
the call is
Mark's
connected.
laptop battery has just died. He's just told me on WhatsApp. So, I'm going to see if I can get Mark back.
Yeah, we're good. So,
please
thank you very
hold.
much for listening, guys. Bit of an odd one towards the
WhatsApp.
end.
And we're going to finish this.
But yeah, so what we covering next week, Ian?
Through the miracle of Mark talking through my phone. What do I call Mark on here? Oh, that's right, Mark.
Nice. Thank you much for listening, guys. I'll speak to you soon, bud.
We're going to try it.
I did this,
Let's see
didn't I?
what happens.
Hello?
Mark, you're live on Film Bastards. Please feel free to swear.
Fuck.
What were you saying? Go on, finish off, and I'm just putting this on my phone by my mic.
All right. Yes. See, my laptop battery just died, which was nice. I'm just hoping that it saved the file.
Well, yeah, we've if folks, if the sound doesn't sound too great, it'll be because Mark had thankfully recorded it on Skype, which I'm really glad he did that now, because we don't usually do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was it. So Bex is literally about to get home in about 2-3 minutes. But yeah, she'll do her bit there. But yes, we are. Yeah, we're good. So thank you very much for listening, guys. Bit of an odd one towards the end. But yeah, so what we're covering next week, Ian?
So next week we're going to be talking about Nightmare Alley. We're going to be talking about Nightmare Alley, and then into February releases start piling up a little bit. So yeah, we're going to do a catch up of Nightmare Alley then, and then take it from there.
Nice. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll speak to you soon, bud.
We're PondSyndicate.com. Film Bastards is us. Chin Stroker versus Punter, Entertainment Landfill, the Iron Sequel, His Film, Her Movie. Shit, my brain's gone. Sorry, it's a very discombobulating way of finishing this podcast, so apologies, folks. But there we go. We will see you next week. Jason Reitman, you can suck my fucking dick. There we are. Bye, guys. Bye.
We have all the time in the world. Time enough for life to unfold all the precious things love has in store. We have all the love in the world. If that's all we have, you will find we need nothing more. Every step of the way will find us with the cares of the world far behind us. We have all the time in the world just for love, nothing more, nothing less, only love. Every step of the way will find us with the cares of the world far behind us. Yes, we have all the time in the world just for love, nothing more, nothing less, only love. Only love.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.